You know what there are a lot of in 40k? Space Marines. A whole lot. Too much, honestly. So I decided it'd be a fun little idea. A while ago, I made a Space Marine tier list with all the main playable ones, but like, what about all the random assortment of Space Marines? There's so many random options. Why not actually go through, catalog, find the fun ones, and expand on them? So this video is 5 really interesting ones I found in this outing. And I do mean that specifically, this outing. I delved into some success chapters I know about and ones that I found just through looking through a giant list of them. If you find or know any really cool, lesser talked about Successor or Renegade chapters, let me know. I can make more and more videos on the subject. It's really fun, actually. So first things first, our first subject is going to be the Minotaurs. The Minotaurs are a really interesting Space Marine group in the fact that their core design, very, very cool. Something you see in their chapter master, who is all like Roman centurion kind of deal. A lot more interesting, cool Roman soldier design than you get out of like the Ultramarines, honestly. And as well, they come from the cursed founding, the 21st founding, which is a pretty nasty founding in the fact that every single chapter that was created on that little thing, they're all horribly cursed and genetically fucked up. Their initial chapter defect, pretty rough in the fact that they all had complete uncontrollable berserker rage. Pretty bad when you're trying to lead a military group to have your boys just pop off, go mental. But eventually they found ways to work around it. And nowadays it's not even that big of a deal. They can really control that rage. They do have a new one though. They have a new, kind of maybe worse thing in the fact that they are all really fucking paranoid. Insanely paranoid to the point where they obsess over security details, detailed strategy, defense meetings, everything. So far that there's only 2 groups that they listen to in the Imperium. That is the Emperor, like his general area, because man, he can't fucking talk no more, and the High Lords of Terra. That's a big deal. The High Lords being the ruling body of the Imperium, the bureaucracy, the pretty bad bureaucracy, to where the Minotaurs are kind of like their security detail, or the dudes they send on missions, because for some reason the Minotaur stupidly loyal to the High Lords, to the point where they almost got involved in a coup because the High Lords were pulling some schemes and they completely trusted them. Luckily, all handed out okay. The custodians dealt with it. Gilliman killed the people involved in the coup, so everything's all hunky-dory and they didn't commit treason. The next one to cover is the Black Dragons, who are another cursed founding Space Marine chapter. The Black Dragons are a successor of the Salamanders, which isn't surprising. Their name kind of implies that. They have a really goofy defect that they fully embrace. It is now part of their culture, it's part of their warfare, it's very integral to the identity of a Black Dragon. They have this little problem of parts of their bones jut out from their skin. This can manifest in a lot of different ways. The main common ones is one giant, like almost like fin spike thing coming out of your head, and 2 giant arm, like dagger points that come out, like this. And when these happen, they grow out, they coat them in adamantine to make them more metallic and not bone, and then they use them as weapons. And this is a pretty big deal for them. You are only considered a full Space Marine, like inducted in the Black Dragons, once you get your first bone spike. And this open embracing of the mutation has made it so nobody fucking trusts them. Everyone's like, they're gonna go chaos, they're gonna go evil at like a moment's notice. There's a couple Inquisitors that are pure, like, all they do is keep an eye on the Black Dragons to make sure they're not just gonna go traitor and embrace chaos. And honestly, they're just happy being like Wolverine, stabbing Xenos and other heretics with their bone spikes. So I guess just more power to them. They're really cool. I think this is such a fun concept. I wish there were like minis that embrace the bone spike thing of any Successor chapter to get some, at least one unique box. This one's like a really cool one. And this one is a cool, like, very unknown. I've never heard about them before I started really reading about Successor chapters. These are the Guardians of the Convent, who are really cool based on their design, because there is something that immediately just triggers happiness at seeing a design that is monastic robes over Space Marine armor. This looks so fucking cool. These guys are successors of the Dark Angels. Look at them, obviously. Now, the Guardians of the Convent also are really interesting because they have a really cool relationship when it comes to knowledge. And the main method this comes out in is they're all like medieval scholars. They're a monastic tradition, they hang out in their headquarters, they don't leave too much, and they all do like manuscripts and art. They write a bunch of really important manuscripts to the Imperium and then disperse it. Like full on, like, you know those medieval manuscripts, like the cool art, like page art and like all of those? Because monks, that was their job. They would just write books in their convent. That's their vibe, which also, like, yeah, it's a cool aesthetic. There's a reason there's a whole game based on it. Pentament's great, but play Pentament. That's a good game. And also, because of this, they have a pretty good relationship with the Mechanicus because they're embracing knowledge and they share it. Good stuff. And then, on the other hand, they have a full company that is dedicated to book burnings and destroying knowledge they deem dangerous, which I guess, if you want to keep the religious angle, that's the method you go with. And now this one is a personal favorite of mine. In fact, originally, when I was trying to pick out an army to play, before I picked up my Raven Guard, I was gonna play these dudes. These are the Exorcists. I adore this fucking chapter. So they are a successor to the Imperial Fists because willpower, that's a big thing in their idea. Mainly in the fact that these guys are amazing at killing demons, and I would argue in a much cooler way than the Grey Knights. Because the first thing an exorcist does when they're being inducted into becoming an exorcist is they make a demon possess the aspirant, and they have to survive like that for 12 hours. Now, this isn't as easy as like, oh, there's another dude living in my body. No, when a demon possesses you, they reshape your physical form and cause a lot of pain. A lot of pain. So if they can survive, good shit, you're already off step one. Next step, learn every possible way of murdering demons. You learn true names, you learn the best methods of fighting them, lots of scripture, all that stuff. And then you're packed out and sent to a demon world to fend for your life with your squad. You know, the demon worlds, the one that a lot of them, by touching foot on the planet, you are chaos corrupted. You know, then if they survive that, good job, you're a full-blown exorcist. And this training's for good reason, because one of the primary things they do, this is detailed in one of the Death Watch books, by the way, I think this is fucking hysterical. So, once you get to a specific point, where you become pretty cool, you make a pact with a greater demon. Or just at least a powerful demon that can do this. You make a pact for knowledge, for power, for like longevity, all that stuff. And then you dedicate your immortal soul to the demon in payment. And then right afterwards, they take your soul out of your body, shove it in a vat clone baby, put it in cryostasis, and hide it. So now, that soul is somewhere else. Not in your body, ain't there. So the demon can't fucking find it. He can't locate where the soul is because it's in stasis. And you're walking around with no soul in your body. So you are invisible to most psychers and most demons. The only exception are those who are extra powerful. So like a demon Primarch or like one of the big greater demons, they can still sense you. But like a regular pink horror, they're not gonna fucking know you're there. You can just walk up and just shoot them in the head and they're dead. Or at least sent back to the war. And it's that aspect. If you dedicate your life to killing demons, you gotta do it in a cool way like this. Their entire lore is so fucking fun. And the reason I need to read the Death Watch books, because I've heard, people confirm this, if this is real in the comments, I've heard the Exorcist character that appears in this series is fucking awesome. And then lastly, ending on a fun note, is the Legion of the Damned, which is what you get when you cross Ghost Rider with Space Marines. All of them have a ghostly flaming aesthetic, they fire at you with ghostly flaming bolters, and they all just appear from nowhere when the Imperium needs heroes most. When a battle's gonna be lost, a bunch of Space Marines just fucking appear on fire, blasting the enemy, then they leave without saying a word. There are a lot of theories on what they are, which makes them really interesting. There's one that's a little more confirmed, sadly, which I'm sad about. So that one in particular is that these are the remnants of the Firehawk chapter, a chapter that disappeared through warp-based fuckery. They all contracted a warp disease in deep travel, and they never really returned. So the Firehawks then turned to the Legion of the Damned because they were all dying. So they were going to go out and, kill the enemies of mankind. And then also picked up a bunch of other Marine chapters, like remnants, that also got lost in the warp. There's a lot more digging into the fact that these are a bunch of actual people that used to be known as the Firehawks, but that's lame. You wanna know what's less lame? These are all ghosts. That's way fucking cooler. They're the two in-universe theories on what they could be. The first one, these guys are the remnants of what happened on Istvan 3 and 5. These are the ghostly, just after image of that event, which sent such a strong psychic reverberation throughout the galaxy that they manifest again. Which also leads into an idea that is really sad to say this, completely unconfirmed, that Ferrus Manus is part of the Legion of the Damned as their Primarch, which would be cool, but not gonna happen. Also, you shouldn't want it to happen because Ferrus Manus, as cool as he is, he's at a perfect point where Games Workshop can't ruin his character. He has too little lore on him. That's the only possible way I can spin that as positive. And then there's the second kind of similar form of this theory, where instead of being this actual psychic reverberation, this is the after effect of Space Marine librarians being sentimental. So this is an idea where a bunch of Space Marine librarians believe that their fallen brothers should get some form of revenge or some form of ability to fight back and get justice for what happened. So a bunch of ghost Space Marines are made. Then, hearing the idea of the Legion of the Damned, this gets constantly affirmed by psychers. Psychers who make just ideas reality through warpcraft. So the constant feedback loop of this idea, they're not actually ghosts. They're not, undead souls. They are psychic manifestations of these mass-held ideals, which is also very cool. I think both of these ideas, psychic reverberation or psychic manifestation, are both fucking awesome. I am less into the fact that these are flesh and blood Space Marines because Legion of the Damned are cool because they're ghosts. That's the fun part. They should stay like that. But yeah, that's about it. Not too crazy of a video, but if you have your own Space Marine successors or renegade, any fun, custom, smaller known thing, let me know. I can make more. I'll compile a big list of what you guys give me, and I'll make more videos down the line. These are really fun to make, so I want to. But yeah, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe, do that stuff, join my membership, and see ya.